If we only had one day left to live, what would we do? If there were only one day left to live, would we still compete and rush about, scrambling for worldly possessions against life and other people? Would we still be indifferent, unfeeling, and calculating toward those around us? Would we still let our minds drift toward meaningless pleasures? Would we still harbor deep grudges or engage in harmful actions? Would we still utter words or commit deeds that cause others pain? When facing death, all gains and losses, all victories and defeats, all material ambitions, and all deep-seated hatreds cease to matter. They fade away, becoming weightless. When we have no more time to make many choices, we naturally choose what is most precious. We choose loving, kind thoughts. We choose to live sincerely. We choose meaningful deeds. We choose words that are gentle and pleasant. We choose each light step so as not to harm the places we pass. And we choose a calm and steady breath so we can listen more deeply to life. We know all of this, yet we still do not master ourselves. We keep getting swept away by unwholesome thoughts, by worldly fame and gain, by winning and losing. In such moments, please remember, the way to love everything in this harsh life is to remember that everything will pass away. Indeed, everything will pass away. This very thought compels us to view life with more love, to live with gratitude, and to give our best, because we never know if we will have another chance to say, "I'm sorry," or do what we long to do. When we come into this world, we bring nothing. When we leave, we become no more than a wisp of smoke. Reflecting on it, a human life is simple. Wealth and glory pass swiftly with time. All attachments, loves, and hatreds return to dust. Today, we live in a material world, tempted by power, status, money, beauty, delicious food, fine clothing. It's easy for people to become arrogant, conceited, indulgent, and self-serving. When you find a gap between reality and your dreams, when you feel unable to restrain your grudges or anger, your need to win or lose, your schemes to harm others, recognizing the impermanence of life will help ease the pressure weighing on your soul. In this very moment, let us live with forgiveness, live with tolerance, and use our whole hearts to treat each other kindly. There are so many wonderful things around us. Let us return to living fully in each day so that if tomorrow never comes, we will never regret how we have lived. Let each step be steady. Let us give our loved ones the gift of our presence and an uplifting smile, to know that we are so fortunate to still exist here and now. No matter what happens tomorrow, whether we remain or depart, this very moment is the most important. Life is short, everyone will die. So what benefit is there in quarreling and arguing with others? What benefit is there in anger? Absolutely none. It's better to keep our hearts at peace. Fighting or flaring up doesn't solve problems. It only creates more hatred and trouble. Let us control ourselves so that we aren't swept away by negative feelings. That way, we can treat others more gently and tactfully. I often remind myself of the brevity of life. When I get agitated or worried about something, I ask myself, what good does worrying or fretting do? Life will pass, and death awaits everyone, sparing no one. Death makes us all equal. Therefore, while still alive, I should live in the best way I can mindfully, day by day, doing all I can for that day. When I think this way, I can let go of my worries and live more lightly, more happily. Whether I worry or not, we will all age and die. So wouldn't it be better to grow old without worrying? That's more sensible. Someone once said, "Happiness means living without worry." Excessive worry shortens our lifespan, brings illness, and leads to an early death. Understanding this helps us leave our worries behind and live more joyfully. The more we think in a clear and understanding way, the more tolerant, patient, kind, and gentle we become, both with ourselves and with others. We cling less to material possessions and become less greedy when we realize how fleeting life truly is. When we know that no matter how much wealth we accumulate, we can't take a single penny with us when we die, we stop calculating so much. We can open our hearts and begin to embrace the joy of sharing love and concern with others. We come to see that life is not just about accumulating and saving up possessions. We become more open-handed, more generous, and we find joy in bringing happiness to others. Bringing joy and happiness to others is what makes life meaningful and beautiful. That is what truly matters. Love and compassion can bud and bloom within us, like a tree full of flowers. We can truly become good, compassionate human beings, treating others with a heart filled with love without dividing them by race, religion, or social status. Our lives will then gain a new light, and we can say we are truly happy and at peace, with a smile upon our faces. Human life, you could say, is neither too long nor too short. Living even one day is already a blessing. Let's cherish every moment, because once time passes, it never returns. Even in trouble, don't forget to smile. Even in hardship, remain courteous. Even in struggle, stay patient and persistent. And even in exhaustion, don't forget to love yourself. The simplest life is the happiest. Knowing contentment brings perpetual joy and fosters a generous spirit of forgiveness. If you overcomplicate things, your mind grows tired. Let yourself periodically clear out your memory, erase any unpleasant people or matters from your heart. Being able to live one more day is already a blessing. We must treasure it. Life is short, just a few decades, so don't leave yourself filled with regrets. If you cling to petty matters, neither your body nor your mind will be at ease. Some problems, when you learn to let them go, will no longer bind you. A bit of suffering can be seen as a means of self-refinement. The ups and downs of life teach us to be steadfast, and as we face the storms of existence, we grow more resilient. Life is also about understanding one another, carrying joy in our hearts and quietly letting it dissolve away sorrows. Adding a bit more joy, subtracting a bit of anxiety. No matter whether we are rich or poor, have high or low status, or are well educated or not, as long as we can still smile each day and treat fatigue as nothing, we are living freely and comfortably. All of us, at least once in our lives, have tasted deep loneliness, feeling so fragile. We've felt near collapse, wanting to give up in life's storms. We've felt discouraged by the world's changes and the coldness of people. Sometimes we feel it's hard to find a moment of peace in this impermanent life. Time is nearly up, yet our worries persist. We've struggled so hard but have little to show. We watch the sunset, hearing the quiet sighs of the world and pondering what mysteries lie within it. Each person's life is like a book. Some pages are sad, some are happy, some are painful, and some are joyful. Be strong and turn one page each day. If every page were the same, the book would be dull. We need variation, sorrows and joys alike, so our range of emotions can be fully expressed. Through suffering, we learn to cherish happiness. Life, with all its meetings and partings, is guided by karma and fate. Going with that flow brings ease and is the best outcome. So as not to waste this lifetime, let us do good deeds and cultivate wholesome qualities, because doing good brings happiness to ourselves and others. Ordinary people typically rejoice when happiness is in sight, but once they grasp it, they feel anxious about losing it. Nothing in life is absolute. There is always balance. The more we acquire, the heavier our responsibilities become. A human life can be compared to the sun. Sometimes it shines brightly, sometimes it darkens. In the end, life is but 2.5 minutes. 1 minute for a smile, 1 minute for a sigh, and half a minute for love. Life is neither too long nor too short. What's worth cherishing should be preserved. What should be released should be let go. No matter how difficult today is, believe that only yesterday cannot return, while tomorrow will surely come. Life is a long path with countless forks, requiring continual choices. No opportunity repeats itself. Once you choose, don't regret. Sometimes fate or karma drives us to choose or stay with certain things. When people reach a certain age, they no longer like noisy, bustling places. A peaceful mindset brings good health and longevity. It's not crucial whether we're materially rich or poor. What matters is peace within, which leads to a happy life. Amid the endless demands of time and life's pressures, people become dizzy. Nowadays, the notion of slowing down isn't new. When we slow down, we gain deeper insight into life. But how to slow down correctly, how to slow down enough to fully appreciate its meaning is not so simple. Slowing down means not being superficial. Slowing down to observe our feelings, to listen to life's flow and to the beat of our own hearts, to discern what truly matters and what is just fleeting illusion. When you slow down with a clear mind, you become less hasty and make fewer mistakes. At times, the happiness that keeps our hearts gentle is the same endurance that brings us peace. In life, there are always those who look at us unfavorably. Don't dwell on rumors. See difficulties calmly and turn criticism into motivation. Treat failure as a lesson, then continue on your path. Life may be tiring, but we must face it. Days may be arduous, but we must press on. We only have this one life. Once it ends, there is no returning. Once lost, it can't be retrieved. Our time is limited, so it is more precious than any wealth. Don't waste it on petty, vexing worries. Even salt dissolves. Whether water is salty or fresh, like whether we suffer or rejoice, depends on how vast our hearts can be. In this life, the most valuable thing isn't money, status, or power. It is our inner selves, our character, and our qualities. These speak to our virtue, revealing who can be trusted and who cannot, who is good and who is bad. Be an honest person, sincere and uncalculating. Overthinking causes only self-harm. Happiness comes from the feeling of joy, from a tranquil mindset, from the choices we make. Even a simple matter can become complicated if we overthink and overplan. Conversely, any complex matter, if approached with ease and an open mind, becomes simpler and more solvable. When we act, we should leave room for a retreat. When we speak, we should keep a bit of kindness and refrain from pushing things to the extreme. Do more good deeds and your wrongdoings naturally diminish. Value sincerity and you will plot less. Encourage others more and blame them less. Help others more and you'll be less likely to use them. A human life is like morning dew. Once it evaporates, it's gone. Live like water, clear, tranquil, and deep, so you will feel calm and untroubled. We come into this world because we have no choice, and we leave it in the same way. The span in between is up to each person to decide. Some see money, children, romance, and winning and losing as everything. Others choose gratitude, joy, tolerance, and a sense of sufficiency as their guiding light. Different choices yield different life results. Everyone's life is not easy, full of sweet and bitter, sadness and happiness. Transform a life of suffering into one that's poetic. Turn a heartless world into one filled with warm bonds that is true skill. Nothing in this world is perfect. The sun, at its zenith, soon shifts west. The moon, fully round, then wanes. So the most beautiful moment is often when the flower has not fully bloomed, when the moon is not fully round. That slight bit of unfulfillment becomes eternal. A lack of total perfection is precisely what makes this life human. Acceptance dissolves problems. A person who knows how to bow doesn't hit their head on the doorway. One who yields the path avoids needless clashes. On the journey of life, we experience joys, happiness, and success, and also pain, suffering, and failure. Wherever we go astray, we can correct our course. Yesterday's failures can become the foundation for tomorrow's successes. We must never neglect learning or reject improvement. No path is smooth, there's always a bend somewhere. You must cross it and move forward. That little curve is not a defeat, but an opportunity to build resilience. The truly strong are not those who never shed tears, but those who can swallow their tears and keep going. Take a pause, persist a little longer. Even if hope is invisible, trust in yourself. Sometimes you have to gather the courage to carry a burden heavier than you think you can bear. It might be terrifying at first, but once you push through, you'll realize your capacity is far greater than you ever imagined. A person's journey isn't always smooth and favorable, so we must learn to accept and smile. If the slightest setback knocks you down, if one harsh word unsettles you, if hearing someone dislikes you makes you despair, then your character is still too fragile. Always remember, the more effort you put in, the luckier you become. Try to change childish impulses, overcome laziness, abandon pointless doubts, and resist trivial temptations. Invest your energy in what truly matters, and find stillness so you can do your best. After sincere effort, you'll find you are far more capable than you thought. Life goes by quickly. If you can move beyond illusory fame and fortune, you can embrace what's genuine. When you encounter something complicated, resolve it calmly, shedding unnecessary burdens so your heart is free to move forward. Yielding the path to others helps avoid petty conflicts. Broadening your horizons allows you to see the rainbow after the rain. Keeping your luggage light enables you to walk countless miles with ease. Truly, the most beautiful sights aren't necessarily seen with the eyes, but rather felt in the heart. The deepest affections need no words. They can be discerned in one's actions. Whenever you feel dissatisfied, recall the nature of water: gentle, soft, quietly accepting and transforming everything without contention. If a person refines themselves to that level, wouldn't the world be at peace and hearts be tranquil? In being human, having less money is acceptable, but don't let your spirit become poor. Don't let a lack of funds narrow your vision. Even if you never achieve a lavish life, at least strive to be a person of value. It's okay if your appearance isn't striking, but don't let your mind turn ugly. Kindness and decency come from the soul, not the body. It's all right if you're short in stature, but don't let your heart be small or cruel. No one likes someone who is petty. Even if your shoulders are slight, a compassionate heart can bring comfort and warmth to many. It's all right to be physically weak, but don't let your spirit become feeble. Those who are weak-spirited often fall into pessimism and self-doubt, so cultivate courage, autonomy, and self-confidence. It's all right to be a bit slow physically, but don't allow your mind to remain in darkness. Keep your conscience bright and your vision broad. It's all right to be somewhat hard-hearted at times, but never become so tyrannical that cruelty turns you into a demon. If not you, then who goes to hell? It's all right to be intelligent, but never assume you alone are brilliant and everyone else is foolish otherwise. The only fool is you. It's all right to be somewhat lazy, but do not be perpetually slothful. Whatever needs doing should be done properly. Contribute a bit more effort. Don't be a parasite clinging to society. It's all right to be frugal, but don't be consumed by greed. Otherwise, you'll begin measuring everyone by money and become its slave. It's good to be tolerant, but don't let others disrespect or exploit your kindness. Keep your own principles and dignity. It's all right to endure hardships, but don't let misery endure forever with no escape. Learn how to rise above it. Time slips away, nights end. Life feels vast and empty as if drifting. Realizing that nothing is truly so important, let us live in a way that gives meaning to our human existence. Human life is short, don't waste it. Destiny goes up and down, don't be unsettled. Life is precious, don't take it for granted. Anger harms us, don't let it take over. Life is meant to be joyful, don't let worry consume you. Our parents have given us grace, don't be ungrateful. Spouses are connected by fate, don't despise them. Children are our own flesh and blood, don't abandon them. Relationships need nurturing, don't calculate gains and losses. Superstition deceives, don't fall into it. Desire is boundless, don't overindulge. Helping others is noble, don't neglect it. Peace is happiness, don't be restless. We must be mindful of our words, not speaking impulsively just to feel momentarily gratified. One kind word can warm someone through 3 cold winters. One cruel word can chill them even in the scorching summer. So, think before you speak, especially in delicate matters, and avoid worthless chatter. Don't let your words sow hatred. Over time, you can turn adversaries into friends. Without a loving spirit, people will wither like barren land. Loving others is also loving yourself. Offer your kindness like the midday sun, bringing light to every corner. Harboring hatred doesn't lessen anyone's suffering. Instead, it robs you of joy. So never resent anyone. Fate is like a book. If you don't care to read it, you'll miss fascinating details. If you focus too hard, you'll tire yourself out. Practice humility and sincerity, treat others kindly, and you'll accumulate blessings for yourself. No one is perfect. Life inevitably includes betrayal and unforeseen circumstances. Don't be quick to blame. Life is not easy. Every home has its struggles. Each person has their own pain. Don't ever ridicule anyone else. Respecting others is also respecting yourself. If you want people to trust you, prove yourself worthy. If you keep your word, others will want to be close. If you're sincere, people will rely on you. If you are honest, life itself will willingly place its trust in you. Speak when it's time to speak. Otherwise, remain silent. That is wisdom. Act when it's time to act. Otherwise, withdraw. That is understanding. Show yourself when you should. Otherwise, stay humble. That is enlightenment. It's fine to trust others, but don't depend on them for fortune or rank. If you've contributed, accept the credit. If you haven't, don't take it. We all walk step by step, build our relationships bit by bit, and write our life stories page by page. No one faces hardship forever. No one is free from suffering all their life. Maintain a positive mindset, and things will turn out well. If you keep picking at others' faults, you yourself are not good. If you blame others' shortcomings, you create your own negativity. Measuring others by your own standards, you'll never find anyone perfect. Trying to corner your opponent won't drive them to ruin, but it could leave you with no way out yourself. Spying on others' lives, whether good or bad, doesn't cost them anything but wastes your time to look up at the vast sky. Those who are too domineering end up friendless. Those who are too selfish find themselves always fatigued. Only love creates kindness, and only kindness can embrace the whole world. When you have free time, reflect on your own shortcomings. When you have a moment to spare, don't discuss others' failings. Words themselves might not physically harm you, but they can deplete your virtue. Of all the harmful speech, slander is among the worst. So be careful with what you say and don't fabricate rumors. Even in jest, there should be limits. When accusing someone, don't go too far. Keep some measure of kindness in your words. When scolding, don't be too harsh. Keep some generosity of spirit. Even if you're right, don't push others into a corner. Keep some tolerance. When dealing with problems, don't be too severe. Leave room for a way out. Accepting others is also giving yourself a chance. Empathizing with those around you allows your own heart to expand. Receiving tolerance from someone is because you used a kind heart in dealing with life. Having quality means you always treat others with respect. Someone who is well cultivated shows gentleness toward everyone. Caring for others is what makes you worthy of their care in return. If you respect others, life will respect you. Approaching all things gently, your own heart will feel at ease. So it is among friends. If you treat them with respect and courtesy, they will respond likewise. If you treat them with disdain and shouting, you'll receive resentment in return. Thus, in life, be sincere with friends, affectionate with family, forgiving with your beloved, and tolerant of your enemies. If you always keep compassion in mind when dealing with people, they will gradually sense it and respond in kind. When you harbor goodness in your heart, your quality of life improves. We toil all our lives and exhaust ourselves, but in the end, we can't take even a single blade of grass with us when we go. We can accumulate for a lifetime, hoarding wealth and possessions, yet we can't bring any hollow reputation with us after death. Once we're born, whether we're rich or poor, by the end, we all say our final farewells. So while we can, let's live wholeheartedly and treasure those we care for. Don't chase superficial standards. If there's something you can't forget, let it be. If you do forget, don't force yourself to recall. It hurts more to lose something once held than never to have had it. Don't rely too much on anyone, because depending on them leads to expectations, and expectations lead to disappointment. This world rarely offers second chances. You are the author of your own life. There's no need to script it tragically or miserably. Don't stand still in a distant corner, trembling with fear. Step boldly forward and you'll find your direction. Not everything in life goes our way. Don't corner yourself. If you've done your best, accept whatever comes. We busy ourselves all life long, no matter how hard we work. Tasks are never truly finished. We save up all our lives, no matter how much we gather, it never feels like enough. We endure life's trials carefully, yet we still inevitably err. The world is vast, we are small. Some things we shouldn't take too seriously. Life is not that bad. Right or wrong, they're experiences. Good or bad, they're lessons. If your heart is at peace, happiness is there. Life keeps moving forward. Instead of worrying about forever, keep your soul calm. Many things can only happen once and never again. Sometimes we only have one chance in life. Once lost, it can't return. Cherish those who remain, bid farewell to those who leave. Don't let a single individual's actions overshadow everything else. When sadness comes, don't lash out or look for pity, because the world can be cold. Being too weak only makes others look down on you. Even if you mean nothing in the eyes of others, at least preserve your self-respect. Don't obsess over one single issue or devote all your affections to just one person. You still have family, friends, and many other matters to attend to. Remember, life always offers us a new chance called tomorrow. On this journey, we encounter joys, happiness, and success, but also pain, suffering, and failure. Wherever we fail, we can stand back up. Yesterday's defeat can become tomorrow's victory. We cannot cease learning or shun growth. The future holds many promises, and it also seduces us. Ideally, we should plant seeds right now so that one day they bear fruit. If we work diligently now, we'll have something to harvest in the future. We've tried in the past and are trying now, so there's no need to worry about tomorrow. This is the natural law of growth, inseparable like day and night. Each day of life is worth cherishing. Don't dwell on yesterday's uncertainties and passively wait for tomorrow. Live fully in the present moment, and you won't waste this life's meaning. As people, if we appear too clever, others become wary of us. If we're too perfectionistic, we invite conflict. If we're too arrogant, we push people away. In life, if there's an opportunity to gain something, don't seize it all for yourself. Even if you keep grabbing for profit, you'll never exhaust it. Knowing sufficiency, you can stop. Even if you're right, don't push others into a dead end. Arguments over who's right or wrong can last forever, and even if you win, you lose your gentle heart. Even if you're extraordinarily talented, never ridicule others. Comparing person to person can wound hearts. Comparing object to object may mean discarding one. Overthinking brings distress. Paying attention to every detail can weigh you down. Chasing too many things leads to exhaustion. Only when you're content in your heart can your days be free and easy, your body and mind at peace, and life truly worth living. When you feel pain, the first thing to relinquish is your stubborn clinging. The question is whether you're willing to let go. When one door closes, another realm opens. Will you notice it or not? Life is but one. We strive for a big house. Yet sometimes a small hut or a simple bench can provide joy in simplicity. One doesn't need riches or luxury. Being healthy and safe is enough. You don't need grand words, honesty and sincerity suffice. You don't need overly intense enthusiasm, patience and tolerance are enough. Choosing the right career means success for a lifetime. Choosing good friends leads to wisdom for a lifetime. Choosing a suitable environment grants contentment for a lifetime. Choosing wholesome companions brings happiness for a lifetime, and choosing an optimistic way of living offers peace for a lifetime. Life is like a cup of tea. The first sip may be bitter, but that's not all. After the bitterness comes a soft sweetness. We often feel exhausted because we hesitate between holding on and letting go. Sometimes we understand the truth but don't want to accept it. Refraining from explanations eases burdens. Releasing attachment opens our path. And accepting imperfection is simply human. Coffee is bitter or sweet depending on whether we add sugar or salt. The real issue isn't how to forget painful memories, but whether we have enough courage to move on to something new. Live with more joy, because life is impermanent and short. If you can manage your emotions, you'll feel calm and peaceful. No matter how much sorrow you've faced, it will fade in time. Nothing is permanent. Half our life is memories, the other half is carrying on. Give yesterday's worries back to yesterday. Offer today your confidence and hope, and devote all your efforts to tomorrow. Every problem has its own answer. If you've done your best, there's no need to worry, just let things follow their natural course. Lay down your stubborn self, adopt a compassionate view toward others and affairs. Add a bit more warmth, calmness, and enthusiasm, and you'll find sunlight in your life every day, forever emerging victorious. Living is a process of self-reflection. Don't expect everyone to understand you, nor hope everything goes your way. Life has no rigid formula, just a pure heart and enthusiasm. When trouble arises, find your own source of joy. Don't forget happiness. No matter how busy, reserve a bit of youthfulness. Don't trade away your health. When tired, rest. Don't let life's joys slip by. In this world, we persevere not because there's hope, but because hope arises from our perseverance. We don't grab opportunities because they exist. They appear because we refuse to give up. We don't work only when we have knowledge. Rather, we gain knowledge by working. We don't shoulder responsibilities only after we've matured. We mature by embracing responsibility. We don't share just because we're rich. We become truly rich by sharing. We don't accept challenges only when we see breakthroughs. Breakthroughs come when we dare to face challenges. We don't sacrifice only once we're leaders. Our willingness to sacrifice makes us leaders. We don't give thanks because we benefit. We benefit because we give thanks. We don't learn simply because we have money. By learning, we gain the skills to earn money. No one is perfect. No job is flawless. When you meet someone small-minded, don't split hairs with them. It will only bring more trouble. When problems arise, don't over-focus on them, as that will only fatigue you further. The world is vast. People are complex. Inevitably, you'll encounter the narrow-minded. Society is deep. Events are convoluted. Inevitably, you'll meet with worry. Think reasonably, see matters more openly. If someone complains or provokes you, respond with silence. Then let go, smiling afterward. If there's no sunshine, enjoy the wind and the rain. If there are no flowers, savor the fragrance of wild grasses. If there's no applause, appreciate the quiet of solitude. Time moves on, the years slip by. No anger, no lament, no sorrow, no calculation. Keep your heart at ease and tread gently on this lovely path. Treasure sincere feelings, maintain a positive mindset. When faced with difficulties, remain calm and try another perspective. After each failure, pick yourself up and regain confidence. Learn to be at peace with yourself, open your mind to the world, and practice forgiving mistakes so that each passing day is tranquil. If you feel exhausted, try looking at life from a new angle. If under pressure, change your environment to breathe. If in doubt, step outside your usual position and reassess. If hesitant, consider a new direction. If bored, find a new setting for joy. If worried, shift your way of thinking to resolve it. If unsure, alter your method to solve it. If feeling inferior, change how you see yourself. A small shift in viewpoint can bring about vast differences. If we hold on to a mindset of letting things flow naturally, we can live an open, liberated life. If our hearts are filled with peace, we can live freely. If compassion dwells in us, we can do many good things. If we live with gratitude, we will feel happy. If we believe in cause and effect, our decisions will be clear. If we know when to give way, this life will be harmonious. If our hearts remain simple, life's events will be less complicated. If we cultivate a habit of daily self-reflection, we will awaken more and more. Life is a puzzle of small pieces fitted together. Marriage is half nurturing, half acceptance. Family is half giving, half love. It's half reciprocity, half preservation. A couple is half tolerance, half caring. Children are half innate potential, half proper upbringing. Parents are half about filial respect, half about closeness. Work is half luck, half effort. Money is half pleasure, half worry. Living is half memory, half moving on. Happiness is half about feeling, half about knowing sufficiency. Happiness is not about whether your house is big or small, but about how much laughter resonates inside. Nor is it about hearing pretty words from many people, but about having someone next to you to comfort you when you're hurting and vulnerable. What's truly precious isn't the material possessions you have, but the companions by your side. If you see the best in everyone, if you see meaning in all things, life is joyful and the world is wonderful. If you face life with a troubled mind and view everything as a burden, the world becomes dark and hateful. Many people wish to be more beautiful. In truth, the best way to be beautiful is to keep a calm heart and a joyful spirit. Such beauty makes others feel at ease, never generating dislike. Truly, everything we get in life is the result of our previous actions, and what we do now creates our future outcomes. Life unfolds this way, day by day. If we're aware of it, we can avoid negative thoughts and won't blame fate or others when things go wrong. Blessings come from diligence and a spirit of sacrifice. Cultivate compassion, help the needy, be grateful to those who have shown you kindness, and maintain respect toward all people and things. Believing in cause and effect keeps you from taking careless, regrettable actions. Cheerfully persevere in kindness today, and you'll welcome a bright, gentle tomorrow. One day, let your soul be still and return to your body breathing in and out, pausing to hear life's quiet joy. Flowers bloom day after day, but life may lose its smiles. Each day the moon rises and sets, and we wonder why happiness seems so distant. Our hearts are anxious, wandering through thousands of roads. Joy is somewhere ahead, like green grass on the far side of the hill. True happiness arises from a serene mind. With a heart full of joy, the entire world is blissful. So what is happiness, and where do we find it? We all yearn to reach that shore of happiness, yet we don't realize it often lies in the simplest things. All that comes to each of us has its own meaning. Every event is a gift for our growth and completion. Accept it with gratitude and appreciation. Life is not a race. It's a journey for us to discover the essence of living, step by step. The crucial thing is not the prize at the finish line, but what we feel and learn along the way. Believe it or not, some people only realize they've lived once they've drawn their final breath. Therefore, we must be conscious of ourselves, aware that we're living with each breath. If we fail to do this, we aren't really living, we're merely existing. What happens if a flower blooms deep in the forest with no one to see its beauty, smell its fragrance, praise it, or share in its joy? Does it wither away, suffer, become confused, or frightened, or end its own life? number. It simply blooms and shares its scent with the breeze. Whether or not someone passes by to compliment its beauty has nothing to do with the flower itself. It simply offers its fragrance and bliss to life, to the entire universe. That is serenity. Are we living as freely as that flower hidden in the forest, blooming and spreading its scent without worry or expectation? All of us, by being born and existing in this world, owe each other something. We give and receive as part of a perpetual cycle of repaying and returning. When we give good things to others, we gain inner peace. True giving is giving without calculation or expectation. The more you calculate, the more distressed you become and the more unrest you feel in your heart because you have given but also deprived yourself of the intangible joy giving brings. Everything we do for one another involves either tangible or intangible transactions. Meeting, loving, hating, or resenting one another is all about affinity. Fate brings us together, but to stay together and turn that fate into love depends on our choices, the giving from each of us. Remember, in love, you either receive happiness and joy or a sense of weariness and suffering. It all moves in circles. Even knowing you may receive something unpleasant in return, keep on giving, because by giving, you are already loving yourself. You're merging with the endless flow of life and of human existence. If only time's boat could row upstream, carrying me back to youth once more, I'd live calmly in the present, unbound, not grasping at illusions that scatter in the wind. If only I could begin this life anew, I would accept my sorrow with a smile, bend low beside those who suffer more than I, and gaze with compassion to ease their pain.